You think you are in control of your life. You believe your choices are rational, your desires are your own, and your perceptions are accurate. This is the greatest illusion your brain has ever created. The truth is, you are a puppet, and your subconscious mind is the master, pulling on invisible strings you don't even know exist. For decades, psychologists and philosophers have been uncovering these hidden forces, the cognitive biases and primal drives that shape your every decision without your permission. Today, we are exposing the puppet master. We are going to explore 12 mind-blowing psychology facts that reveal the hidden architecture of your desires, your fears, and your choices. What you are about to learn might be unsettling, but it is the first step toward true freedom. 1. Your brain is addicted to anticipation, not reward. Why is scrolling on social media so addictive, yet often leaves you feeling so empty? The mind-blowing fact is that dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, spikes not when you get a reward, but in anticipation of it. Your brain is not addicted to the funny video or the nice photo. It is addicted to the possibility of the next one being great. This is the exact same mechanism that drives a gambling addiction. The slot machine addict isn't addicted to winning. They're addicted to the thrill of the pull, the moment of anticipation, the maybe. Every time you scroll, you are pulling the lever on a digital slot machine. Maybe this next video will be the one. Maybe this next post will be amazing. This creates a dopamine loop of endless seeking and minimal satisfaction. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard wrote extensively about anxiety being the dizziness of freedom, the endless, paralyzing weight of possibility. In the digital age, this has become the dizziness of the infinite scroll. To break the addiction, you must understand you are not seeking a reward. You are trapped by the addiction to maybe. 2. Too many choices make you less happy. You stand in front of a wall of 100 different types of cereal. You spend 20 minutes scrolling through Netflix, unable to choose a movie. You feel paralyzed, and when you finally make a choice, you feel vaguely dissatisfied, wondering if you should have picked something else. This is not a personal failing. It is a psychological trap. The fact is, the more choices you have, the less satisfied you are likely to be with your decision. This is the paradox of choice. Our culture tells us that freedom is having infinite options, but our brains did not evolve for infinite options. When faced with too many choices, we experience decision paralysis. And even after we choose, we are haunted by the ghosts of all the other options we didn't pick, leading to regret and lower satisfaction. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that the secret to freedom was not in having more, but in wanting less. He said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." We can adapt this for the modern world. Freedom consists not in having infinite choices, but in making a few good, deliberate ones. To be happier, do not seek more options. Intentionally limit them. 3. The fear of losing is twice as powerful as the joy of gaining. Would you rather gain $100 or avoid losing $100? For most people, the answer is obvious. The psychological fact is that the pain of losing something is about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining the equivalent thing. This is called loss aversion. This single principle governs a huge amount of human behavior. It's why you hold on to a failing investment, hoping it will come back, because selling it would mean crystallizing the loss. It's why a free trial that is about to expire is a more powerful motivator than a discount on a new purchase. The thought of losing access to something you already have is incredibly painful. This isn't a new idea. The 16th century political philosopher Niccolò Machiavelli advised princes that it was better to be feared than loved, because love is fickle. But the fear of loss, of punishment, of losing one's life is a much more reliable motivator. Your brain is wired to protect what it has far more fiercely than it is to seek out new gains. 4. Believing something can heal you actually can. The placebo effect is one of the most mysterious and profound phenomena in all of science. The psychological fact is that your belief in a treatment can trigger real, measurable, biological changes in your body, even if the treatment is a complete fake. People given a sugar pill that they believe is a powerful painkiller will experience a genuine reduction in pain as their brain releases its own natural opioids. This is not just imagination, it is a demonstration that your mind has a direct, powerful influence over your physical body. Your beliefs are not just thoughts, they are biological commands. The great physician and philosopher William Osler once said, "The desire to take medicine is perhaps the greatest feature which distinguishes man from animals." But the placebo effect suggests something deeper. The desire to believe in healing is one of the most powerful medicines we have. It proves that faith, hope, and expectation are not just emotions. They are active agents in our own biology. 5. You will knowingly give a wrong answer to fit in. You are in a room with 5 other people. You are all shown a line on a screen and asked to match it to one of 3 other lines. The answer is obvious. It's clearly line B. But the first person says A, the second says A, the third, fourth, and fifth all say A. What do you do? The shocking psychological fact proven in the famous Ash conformity experiments is that the vast majority of people will knowingly give the wrong answer, just to conform with the group. Your brain would rather be wrong with the crowd than right and alone. This pressure to conform is so powerful, it can literally change your perception of reality. You will begin to doubt your own eyes. This is the root of herd behavior, of financial bubbles, of mass hysteria. The philosopher and poet Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote one of the greatest antidotes to this phenomenon. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. He understood that social pressure is a relentless force trying to extinguish your individual perception. To see the truth, you must be willing to stand apart from the crowd, even when it is deeply uncomfortable. 6. Making small decisions drains your willpower. You start your day with a full tank of mental energy, but every single decision you make, no matter how small, depletes that tank. What to wear, what to eat for breakfast, which email to answer first, each one is a tiny withdrawal. The psychological fact is that we have a finite amount of willpower and decision-making capacity, and it drains throughout the day. This is called decision fatigue. This is why, after a long day of making important choices at work, you come home and have zero willpower to resist junk food or impulse buys online. Your decision-making muscle is exhausted. This is also why many of the world's most successful people famously wear the same outfit every day. They are not trying to make a fashion statement. They are ruthlessly conserving their limited decision-making energy for the choices that truly matter. They understand that mental energy is their most valuable resource, and they refuse to waste it on trivialities. 7. We want things more when they are rare. A sneaker company releases a limited edition shoe. A website puts a countdown timer on a deal. An artist produces only 10 prints of a painting. Suddenly, an object of average value becomes intensely desirable. Why? The psychological fact is that scarcity dramatically increases our perception of value and our desire to possess something. This taps into a primitive fear of missing out. Our brains are wired to believe that if something is rare, it must be valuable and important. The thought that an opportunity might disappear forever triggers a panic response that short-circuits our rational thinking. We don't want the thing because of its intrinsic worth. We want it because we might not be able to have it. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught a way to combat this. He advised his students to look at a beautiful pot and think, "It is just a pot. It can break." By reminding ourselves of the ordinary nature of things, we can break the spell of scarcity and desire. 8. Your brain is obsessed with unfinished tasks. Why do you remember the tasks you haven't completed more clearly than the ones you have? Why does a cliffhanger at the end of a TV episode drive you crazy? This is called the Zeigarnik effect. The psychological fact is that our brains have a strong, innate need for completion. Unfinished tasks remain in our active memory, creating a persistent, low-level mental tension. Waiters in busy cafes were found to have a perfect memory of orders that were still in progress, but would instantly forget the order as soon as it was delivered and completed. The unfinished task created a mental itch that needed to be scratched. This is a powerful force you can use for good or ill. It's why opening a loop in a story is so engaging. It's also why that one unfinished project at work haunts your thoughts on the weekend. To find peace, you must either finish the task or consciously decide to abandon it, signaling to your brain that the loop is now closed. 9. Daydreaming can make you a better problem solver. You're staring out the window during a meeting, your mind a million miles away. You feel guilty, like you are being lazy or unproductive. But you may be doing your most important work. The counterintuitive psychological fact is that people who daydream frequently often exhibit higher levels of creativity and problem-solving skills. When you are intensely focused on a problem, you are using your analytical, linear thinking mind. But when you let your mind wander, you activate a different part of your brain called the default mode network. This is the brain's creative engine. It is where your brain forms new, unexpected connections between seemingly unrelated ideas. It is the source of the aha moment. The great inventor Thomas Edison knew this. He would famously sit in a chair with a steel ball in his hand, and as he would drift off into a daydreaming state, the ball would fall, waking him up so he could capture the creative ideas that emerged from that twilight state of mind. Your daydreams are not an escape from reality. They are a visit to your mind's creative workshop. 10. Smell triggers your strongest and oldest memories. A certain perfume, the smell of freshly cut grass, the scent of an old book. A single random smell can instantly transport you back in time to a specific moment, with a vividness that no photograph ever could. The psychological reason for this is fascinating. Memories linked to the sense of smell are the strongest and most emotional memories we have. This is because the olfactory bulb, the part of your brain that processes smell, has a direct, superhighway-like connection to the amygdala, your brain's emotion center, and the hippocampus, your memory center. Other senses, like sight and sound, take a much more indirect route. Smell is the only sense that gets a VIP pass directly to the most ancient and powerful parts of your brain. This is why a single scent can unlock a flood of memories and emotions that you thought were long forgotten. It is the closest thing we have to a real-time machine. 11. We hate uncertainty more than guaranteed bad news. Imagine two scenarios. In scenario A, you are told you have definitely lost $50. In scenario B, you are told there is a 50% chance you have lost $100 and a 50% chance you have lost nothing, and you have to wait an hour to find out. Which feels worse? For almost everyone, it's scenario B. The psychological fact is that the human brain hates uncertainty more than it hates guaranteed bad news. The pain of a guaranteed loss is finite. Your brain can process it, accept it, and start to move on. But the anxiety of uncertainty is a special kind of torture. Your mind is forced to simulate all the possible negative outcomes over and over again. It is stuck in a loop of what if, unable to find resolution. This is why waiting for medical test results or for a text back from someone you care about can feel more agonizing than the potential bad news itself. As the French philosopher Voltaire wrote, "Doubt is not a pleasant condition, but certainty is an absurd one." While he celebrated intellectual doubt, he understood that for our emotional brains, the state of not knowing is often the heaviest burden of all. 12. Your brain will invent patterns to avoid chaos. Why do conspiracy theories feel so satisfying to believe, even when they are completely illogical? Why do we see faces in the clouds or hear messages in scrambled audio? It's because of a deep, fundamental wiring in our brains. The psychological fact is that the human brain is a pattern-seeking machine, and it prefers a nonsensical pattern over no pattern at all. Our ancestors survived by spotting patterns. The pattern of a predator's tracks in the dirt, the pattern of changing seasons. The ability to find patterns was the ability to predict the future and survive. This drive is so powerful that our brains will invent patterns where none exist, just to satisfy that need for order and meaning. A conspiracy theory, no matter how absurd, provides a simple, satisfying pattern. It connects random, chaotic events into a single, coherent story with clear heroes and villains. It provides a sense of order in a world that often feels random and meaningless. This is the seductive allure of these beliefs. They are not a failure of logic. They are a triumph of our brain's innate, and sometimes dangerous, hunger for patterns. As we have journeyed through the hidden corridors of the mind, one truth becomes clear. You are not the rational, logical, and free-willed captain of your own ship that you believe yourself to be. You are guided by invisible currents of anticipation, swayed by the fear of loss, and paralyzed by the weight of too many choices. You are a puppet to the power of belief, the pressure of the crowd, and the primal allure of a good pattern. But hearing this is not a cause for despair. It is a cause for liberation. As Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Today, you have made the unconscious conscious. You have seen the strings. And once you see the strings, the puppet master begins to lose its power. By understanding these hidden forces, you are no longer a passive subject of your own psychology. You can begin to work with these deep-seated drives, to anticipate them, to manage them, and to choose a path with a new level of awareness and freedom. This is the first and most important step to truly becoming the master of your own destiny.